Far beyond the noise of busy towns, hidden among towering mountains and peaceful forests, stood an ancient temple where silence was considered the greatest teacher. Every morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the tall trees, the gentle sound of a temple bell echoed across the valley, welcoming another day of peace. An old monk lived there, known for his quiet wisdom and humble way of life. Although age had slowed his steps, he never missed his daily walk up the steep mountain trail behind the temple. A curious little boy often visited him after finishing his chores, eager to learn the secrets of life through the monk's simple lessons. One cool morning before sunrise, the boy arrived earlier than usual and noticed something unusual. The old monk was climbing the mountain as always, but this time, a small white sheep quietly followed behind him. The sheep looked tiny and weak. Every few steps, it stopped to catch its breath, nibble on fresh grass, or carefully balance itself on the rocky path. The boy smiled and asked, "Master, why do you make such a small sheep climb this difficult mountain every day? It looks too weak for such a journey." The old monk simply smiled and replied, "Walk with us tomorrow. The mountain itself will answer your question." The next morning, before the temple bell rang, the boy returned. Once again, the monk walked slowly up the trail, and once again, the little sheep followed. Sometimes it slipped on loose stones. Sometimes it became so tired that it stopped completely. But the monk never carried it, never pushed it, and never became impatient. He simply waited and gently encouraged it by saying, "Just one more step." Day after day, the same routine continued. The sheep climbed, the monk waited, the mountain watched. Weeks passed, yet nothing seemed to change. The sheep still struggled. It still became tired. Watching this every morning, the boy wondered if all this effort was meaningless. Finally, unable to hide his curiosity any longer, he asked, "Master, the sheep still struggles every day. Why continue?" The old monk looked toward the rising sun and calmly replied, "Keep watching." More weeks passed, and one beautiful morning, something remarkable happened. The little sheep that once struggled to climb was now walking confidently beside the monk. Its legs had grown stronger, its breathing had become steady, and it reached the top without stopping. The boy's eyes filled with amazement. "Master, the sheep has become so strong." The monk smiled gently and asked, "Did it become strong today?" "No," the boy answered. "Last week?" "No." "Then when?" The boy thought for a moment before smiling. "It became stronger little by little, every single day." The monk nodded with quiet satisfaction. Together, they sat beneath a large tree overlooking the peaceful valley. The monk picked up 2 stones from the ground. One was rough and sharp, while the other was smooth and perfectly round. Pointing toward the flowing stream below, he said, "This smooth stone was not shaped by one powerful wave. It became smooth because the water touched it every single day for many years. Tiny actions, repeated consistently, can change even solid rock." The boy held the smooth stone in his hands and finally understood. So, small actions repeated every day can create great change? The monk smiled warmly. That is one of life's greatest truths. Most people dream of success, but they want it to arrive quickly. They begin learning a new skill, exercising, reading books, or chasing their goals. When they don't see immediate results, they become discouraged and quit. They believe nothing is happening, but real growth is often invisible. The monk looked toward the sheep peacefully grazing nearby and continued. This little sheep never worried about reaching the top of the mountain. It only focused on taking one more step each day. That is why it became stronger. Those words stayed deep in the boy's heart. The very next morning, he decided to stop searching for shortcuts. Instead of hoping to become successful overnight, he promised himself that he would improve just a little every day. Every morning, he spent time reading. Every afternoon, he practiced writing. Every evening, he practiced playing his bamboo flute. Some days he felt excited. Some days he felt tired. Sometimes he improved quickly, while other days he made the same mistakes again and again. Whenever he wanted to give up, he remembered the little sheep climbing the mountain, taking one step after another without ever looking at how far remained. Months turned into years, and slowly those tiny daily efforts began to transform him. His reading became effortless. His handwriting became beautiful. His flute filled the air with melodies that touched people's hearts. During a village celebration, he stood before everyone and played a song so beautiful that the entire crowd listened in complete silence. When he finished, the applause echoed through the valley. "What incredible talent!" people exclaimed. The young man smiled politely, but he knew the truth. It was never talent that brought him there. It wasn't luck, nor was it a miracle. It was the quiet power of consistency, the decision to keep showing up every day, even when no one noticed the progress. Later that evening, he climbed the mountain once more and found the old monk sitting peacefully beneath the same tree, with the now grown sheep resting beside him. Bowing with gratitude, he said, "Master, the mountain wasn't conquered in a single day." The old monk smiled gently and replied, "No mountain ever is." From that day onward, whenever someone asked him the secret of success, he simply shared the story of an old monk, a little sheep, and a mountain climbed one small step at a time. Because greatness is never built overnight. It is built through countless ordinary days, ordinary efforts, and ordinary choices repeated with extraordinary consistency. The greatest achievements in life do not belong to those who are the most talented, the luckiest, or the fastest. They belong to those who never stop taking the next step. Moral of the story? Consistency beats talent. Small daily actions, repeated with patience and discipline, always lead to extraordinary success.